Hello there, 7th graders. This is Mr. Kashi speaking. As you can see, I am not there in class again today, but we'll be going through our slides and lesson just as if I were there. Obviously, first off, the materials you need out are your completed assignment. We have the self-guided, the 4-5 self-guided note sheet. So don't grab a blank sheet from over on the side on the counter, but there's a specific one for 4-5, and you need a writing utensil. Today you will not need a calculator, okay? So a lot of this stuff will be able to be done in your head using just basic number sense. So please have those things out, especially those guided notes if you haven't grabbed a copy of that yet. Just like always with these videos, they go rather fast. If you ever need to stop to write something down, just raise your hand, have the sub pause the video, and you can jot down the notes for as long as you need. Okay, on to our next slide. Our schedule today is hopefully we'll collect the homework and we'll do some notes on 4-5, and your assignment is a worksheet for today. Alright, so go ahead and make sure your first and last name is on your assignment. Pass it into the middle, and then my classroom helpers should hopefully be able to collect those and put them in the folders and get those where they need to be. So go ahead and pause the video and take some time to collect that homework. Alright, so on to our notes. So our lesson 4-5, make sure to take good notes, put your name up at the top, today's date in the upper right hand corner there, and make sure you hold on to these because you will be able to use these on our knowledge celebration at the end of the chapter. So let's go on to our lesson objective. Our lesson objective for today is to write and evaluate expressions with two operations and to solve two-step equations using number sense. Okay, so evaluating expressions and solving two-step equations are our two main focuses for today. First off, we have this example right here, writing expressions. So define a variable and write an algebraic expression for the phrase 4 times the length of a rope in inches increased by 8 inches. So what I'd like to do first is just underline what's important. So 4 times the length of a rope, and we're going to increase that by 8. Okay? Those are the most important things about that phrase right there. Okay? So we're going to define a variable. So we're going to let a letter be the length of the rope in inches. Okay? So we have to define that variable. And we could have a couple of different suggestions for our letter. I would have used the letter R for rope, but I believe they use L for length. Okay, so we're going to let L, I use a cursive L there, to represent the length of the rope in inches. Okay, and so here what we have is we have to take that phrase, remember 4 times the length of the rope, so 4 times. So what we're going to do is we're going to have 4 in that first blank. Times is already put it there for us. We're going to put L in that second blank, and then remember it gets increased by 8 inches. So 8 is the number that we're going to be putting in that third blank right there. 4 times L plus 8. That is what needs to go in that first row. So here what we're going to do is we're just going to write 4L, and we're going to write them together. All right? And rewrite 4 times L as 4L over in the box on the right as well. Okay, so 4 times L, we would just write together 4L plus 8. Okay, that is just writing the expression. So, on to our next example, evaluating expressions. So number 1, we wrote the expression. Number 2, we're going to evaluate the expression. So evaluate the expression if the length of a rope is 9 inches. So we're going to take that same expression that we had. It should be right there, 4L plus 8. Okay? And now we're going to evaluate, which means that we are going to plug in the number 9 in for L and find what we get. All right? So 4 times 9's got to go right in there. Okay? So we're going to do 4 times 9 plus 8. Okay, so evaluate the expression for a rope length of 9 inches. That goes there. All right. And so 4 times 9, hopefully you guys are able to do that in your head, Okay, 4 times 9 would be 36. And then here we have to simplify that down. 36 plus 8. Hopefully you guys can do that in your head as well. 36 plus 8 would be 44. And that would be our answer. Okay, so we wrote the expression in the first problem, and then we evaluated the expression for 9 inches in the second example. Okay, if you still need to write some of this in, go ahead and pause the video right now. Make sure you get enough time to write that in. But I need to move on to the next slide here. Okay, our third example, using number sense. So we have to solve this equation. I know it's an equation because there is an equal sign right in the middle of it. Okay, so solve 3n minus 4 equals 14 by using number sense. So here it is again. Let's just take this step by step. So 3n minus 4 equals 14. Okay, that's what the main part of this whole thing is, that we're going to be solving that. Okay, so what we have to do is, okay, what do we need, what number minus 4 gives us 14? Okay, so we're just going to cover up the 3n right there. And we have to find out what number can we subtract 4 from and get 14. Well, hopefully you guys know that's 18. 18 minus 4 gives us 14. Okay, so what we know is 3n has to equal 18. Okay, and we also have to rewrite that over in the box. So this blank right here, 3n is the same thing as 18. All right, so 3 times some number is 18. All right. And what we have to do is we have to find out what this blank is. 3 times what gives us 18? And hopefully you guys are able to see that just with basic multiplication facts. 3 times 6 gives us 18. Okay, so therefore n equals 6. So n must equal 6 as well. It does kind of break it down into a lot of steps here, but hopefully you guys are seeing the process. All right, we don't have to really draw the line and do inverse operations here because hopefully these are easy enough to do in our head. Okay, but now the thing is we have to go ahead and check our answer. I always talk about checking our answer. So what we have to do, 3n minus 4 equals 14. That was our original solution right up here. It should be the same. All right, and then what we're going to do is we're going to plug in 6 for n. Okay, and this question mark is right above that equal sign just to see if that is in fact our solution. So 3 times 6 is 18. 18 minus 4, we're wondering if that is 14. Sure enough, 18 minus 4, 14 equals 14. So we know our solution checks out. Okay, it does the check for you. All right, and a lot of the times you guys can just do that in your head, plugging that solution in to see if it checks out. That's very important in algebra and a habit that we have to get used to. All right, once again, if you need to write anything down from this slide, go ahead and pause it, but I need to move on to our next example. Okay, number 4. Okay, so this is a problem that deals with shopping. Okay, our example here is the Healy family wants to buy a TV that costs $200. They already have they already have $80 saved towards the cost. How much will they have to save per month for the next 6 months in order to have the whole cost saved? Okay, so they need $200. Right now they have $80, and they have 6 months to save up for this. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to underline the most important parts. Okay, and cross out the parts that we don't need. Okay, they want to buy a TV, and it costs $200. Okay, they have $80 saved. Okay, that's toward the cost. That's not really as important. Okay, and so they want to know how much. So we know our answer is going to be a dollar amount. How much will they have to save per month? There's that word per again. Per month for the next 6 months in order to save for the whole cost. Okay, so what we have to do first is we have to kind of put this into words and then translate it into an equation. All right. So we need the amount of money already saved. We need to add that to the amount that we're going to save for the next 6 months, and that needs to total up to $200. Okay, that's our goal, is to get to $200. Okay, and we're going to let Z, I have no idea why they picked Z, but we're going to have Z be the amount to save per month. So right down here, the amount we already have saved, hopefully you see, is right there, $80. $80 is already saved. Okay, and then we have 6 months to save for, and we need to find out how much each month to save. And when we are all said and done, it better add up to $200 because that's how much it costs. All right, on to the next step here. So we have 80 plus 6z excuse me, equals 200. So what we have to do is we have to find out what can we add to 80 to get to 200. Hopefully you can be able to do that in your head. Okay, so 80 plus what number gives us 200? If we add 120 to 80, that would give us 200. Okay, so that's what that blank would be right there. So 6z, all right, 6z is equal to 120. Okay, so this blank must equal 120. But we don't have to do that all at once. We have 6 months to save that much. So what times 6 will give us 120? Okay, so what number times 6 is 120? Well, 6 times 2 gives us 12, but we have the 0 added on, so 6 times 20 would give us 120. Okay, so Z ends up being 20. So that blank right there, that box, should be $20. All right, that last blank here, so they will have to save $20 per month for the next 6 months if they want to save the full $200 to buy their TV. All right. Now, with the notes being, that should do it for the notes. At the bottom of the page, you can see that there's a quick check section. And you need to complete those 4 problems on your own, quietly at your desk, in order to receive the worksheet assignment for tonight. So go ahead and complete those 4 problems at the bottom. Be very careful on problem number 4. And then you may check for accuracy with the sub, and she or he will be able to give you the assignment, which is a worksheet for today. Hopefully this video was helpful in taking your notes, and I'll be checking for accuracy when we get back, and obviously taking any questions that you guys have as well. So I will see you all soon.